Hello everyone, in this video we're gonna extend a bit our diagram with the appearance of Grafana temple. We're gonna configure the OpenTelemetry collector so we can send generated traces to Grafana temple and use Grafana to visualize them. As you can see here in the documentation, Grafana temple is an open source, easy to use, and especially let you search for traces, spans, and link your data with log and metrics. Okay, let's go to our diagram to get a better understanding of what we're gonna do. As you can see, we added Grafana temple here, so the flow should be like this. Our Spring Boot app will deliver tracing data to collectors by using 4318 v1 traces. Then collector will forward them to all the observability tracing backends that we have like Jigger, Jenkins, last video, and now is to Grafana temple by sending traces to temple 4317. And here Grafana will use Grafana temple as a tracing data source to visualize the data, traces, and spans. So basically, you can think of Prometheus is a data source for metrics, and now Grafana temple is a data source for tracing. Okay, so what we're gonna do now? We need to add Grafana temple into our Docker Compose, and then we have to update the configuration YAML file of collector to push traces to that Grafana temple. And finally, we configured our Grafana to use Grafana temple as a data source. Okay, but before doing, let me show you one interesting thing. Let's imagine that if we don't have any tracing backends like Jigger, Jenkins, and temple here, how do we know that we ended up setting the OpenTelemetry collector to receive telemetry data from Spring Boot properly? So this here in the collector, for example, if we don't have the Jenkins and Jigger, how do we know that the data, the traces, was sent to our Open collector correctly? There is a way that allows us to bring traces to the log of this collector, make sure telemetry data was sent successfully. So we can simply declare a logging exporter here. So logging and log level debug, and append it to the pipeline for tracing here. Logging, and then spin up all our containers again. Docker compose up -d. Okay, so docker ps. So we have OpenTelemetry collector, OpenJenkins, Jigger tracing. Okay, then we only focus on the collector here, right? So I want to see the log of this. Docker p docker logs s -f here, and let's go to generate some trace ID to see the traces is shown here. Okay, localhost hello. Okay, sorry, we need to start our service. Okay, run it again, refresh. Guys, okay, hello, for example, localhost actuator. Yes, can check the log again from, and you see here is the trace log is now printing in the console here. So it means that we config our OpenTelemetry correctly, and then the data is shown here. Okay, then let's stop it, and I will append Jigger and Jenkins as normal. Jigger's Jenkins for trace, and I also want to add logging for the metric as well. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'll Control C to escape scene lock. Okay, let's get back to our infrastructure. We need to add Grafana tempo to our Docker compose file, right? Compose, right? So Grafana, I will find it in the example setup and Docker example here. Okay, for local, actually for OTel collector, right? It's better. So Docker compose. So this is our tempo. I will copy it. Yeah, it's our Docker compose here. I'll put it below Prometheus. So we have the tempo, Grafana tempos. This is the configuration files, and I don't think we need this one. Okay, and this is all the port exported by Grafana tempo. For example, this one is for OTLP, HTTP, and this one is OTLP for gRPC. And in this demo, to make it clear for everybody, so I will delete some line that we don't really need it. So we need the OTLP, gRPC, right? And we need the tempo, and we also need to export it as well. Okay. Then one thing that we need the tempo YAML configuration file. Then I will create this here. Docker, I will create a new folder named tempo, and in tempo I will create another YAML files like tempo.yaml. Okay, then back to here. So it's where it's come from. Share tempo YAML. So it's share here. Tempo YAML. Okay, I'll copy all of this and paste it here. So basically, this is the configuration YAML file for tempo, and you can see, this is config some receivers, some protocol for the receiver. So, for example, if you want to send data from Jigger, so there's some protocol that supports this, and this is our case. We send from OTLP, right, OpenTelemetry collectors, and we're using the gRPC. So this is something on here, OS, for example. Well, yeah, and we're using OTLP, gRPC, port 4317. So you can see in the picture here, port 4317 here is used to send data from OTel collectors to the tempo. And port 3200 here is the URI or the will be set as a source for Grafana. Okay. Date. So we have Docker, tempo, Docker tempos, Docker tempo YAML, YAML, and to make it consistent, so I'll change YAML to YML. Okay, so we have the tempo in place. The next thing is configured our OpenTelemetry connector again to send the data to tempo. So we need to add a tempo exporter in this section. Is exporter here. Okay, let's find it. So OpenTelemetry collector here, OpenTelemetry YAML file, and for tempo we need to add this one. So Prometheus tempo. So tempo, and go to tempo 4317 here, right? As you can see, we have tempo here to receive the matrix, the trace data at 4317. So that's why we send that's why we send the tracing data to tempo here, and then we have to append it to the exporter here. So OTLP, just for you know, all the name here is redefined by OpenTelemetry. So that's why you cannot do this, something like that. You cannot do this. You cannot define by your name and you add it here, so it won't work. Right. So OTLP and OTLP, TLP, OTLP, OTLP. Okay. So everything in place. Let's double check. So now we have string push metric to OpenTelemetry collectors, and the OpenTelemetry collector will push the metric to tempo here. So the last one is we have to configure Grafana to receive data from tempo as a data source, right? Okay, so let's restart our old container docker compose down, and I will spin it up again. So up -d. Okay, let's back to localhost 3000 is Grafana, right? Admin logging skip, and I want to set up our data source. So this time it's not Prometheus this time, right? So this is tempo here. So HTTPs tempos and port 3200, right? Then save and test it. Data source is working, so we can explore it. Go to explore here. So now we have the data source tempo, and we have this UI here, so we can search for trace. For example, you have a trace ID, you can search trace ID here, and you can search here. Okay, so let's make some tests. Run our applications. Here's, and for example, I will refresh this again, refresh this one, and I'll refresh this one. So we send one request to actuators and one request to /hello, right? Okay, this one a bit slow because it's called to another HTTP bin service, right? Okay, there's some error there, that's nice to have. So back again. What happened here? For example, you can see socket timeouts. So it means that this service is timeout. Okay. For activity pause without timeout. Okay, it's good as well. Okay, so we can check it. Tempo. Okay. Then services, refreshes, search. So I have applications, and I'll check the application and I'll run query. So you can see we have hello here and actuators, right? We have two times accept hello, one time one time beginning and another time for checking again the error, right? In actuator, so for example, it led to error. So we see, yeah, the arrow here to show, we have some problem. It's better if we have a log. This is the exception for, this one show that we have some problem with call to another services. So it's not our fault. It's another services, right? Then we can interact with another team to fix it, for example. So good to know that. So you can ask me, so where is the application here? Where it come from? Where this name come from? So actually, it is configured automatically by our auto configuration in Spring Boot. So we can back to us here. So if we search for OpenTelemetry auto configuration, right? OpenTelemetry auto configuration here, and you can see so this is the default application names and its name application. So that's why we have the application as a subject name here, and you can see if you don't declare the application Spring application name here, so it will use this one. Okay, for example, let's check it. So I have Spring's application name here. Okay, Spring dot application name. I will name it hello app, hello service. Okay, here. Okay, so let's restart it again, but back to the here. So because we're using micrometer on top of OpenTelemetry, so that's why this is auto configured for us. And I will put a debug log here to see actually it will be run and created for it. Okay, let's check it. Okay, so as you see now, we are going to create an OpenTelemetry ABI, right? Okay, let's skip this time. What's the application, default application name? I'll skip it. Okay, then back to the control here. So now I'm going to, for example, I'm run health. I want to run hello again. Okay, back actuator, and back to here. I'm refresh it, and now we have another subject name hello service. And if we search for it, okay, I'll close this one. I'll run the query. So you see we have actuator help here. In the meanwhile, this request haven't come. Yeah, we have some trouble with another services. It's totally okay as well. Okay, run query again. So we have hello here. So the duration is 25 seconds, and most of the time is wait for HTTP being service. Okay, although we are making a demo, but it's kind of annoying. So for every time we spin up all our container again from the beginning, we have to manually configure the data source. For example, tempo, and for example, configure another data source like Prometheus, right? Dashboard, no home. So add the data source. So for example, we have to manually to do this. For example, every time we spin up all the containers, Prometheus and 1990s, 7 tests, and we have Prometheus, right? Explore here. We should see tempo and Prometheus. For example, Prometheus, we have HTTP server, count, we run query, for example. Yeah, we have some HTTP server counts, and another. Go back to another trace here. Sorry, the service, hello service, run queries, hello here. And for example, I'm back to Prometheus. Here we can say the matrix on one side and the trace on another side. Interesting, right? Prometheus, HTTP, server, active count, for example, run that. That's cool, right? But it's kind of annoying. So there's one way to configure this one. Let's back to here. So we have the share the Grafana resource YAML file, right? Okay, so I'm going to copy the name here, and I'm going to create a configuration YAML file for Grafana, right? So this time Grafana, and I will name it Grafana data sources.yaml, and I will copy all of this here. Grafana. So basically we have two data sources, one for Prometheus at this endpoint and one for Tempo at this endpoint. Okay, and the next thing we have to do is configure Grafana to it. Okay, so can I have some demo here? Tell collectors, the compose Grafana, so this one. I'll copy this Grafana, and I will update it a bit. So this is Docker and Grafana and Grafana data sources .yaml, and here I have this one of YAML. Okay, I stop my applications and I'm going to restart all of my containers again. Docker compose down, and this time I expect that we have Grafana, auto conflict with two data sources. Okay, then Docker compose up -d. I want to run it in background. Sorry, up -d. Okay, here's, and let's check our Grafana again. Localhost 3000. admin login skip. Okay, skip and explore here. Okay, so Tempo here, I see Tempo here and Prometheus here without having manually configured. And okay, let's start generate some telemetry data. Run this. Okay, and here I have some refresh this one. I'm refresh this one. Go to this one. Okay, this time the activity beans work perfectly. I would like to refresh it one time. Okay, another time is success. So Tempo here, I will insert and find my service, hello service. I run my query. So we have hello, I run the query again. Yeah, hello here, trace log here. You can see without arrow, so there's nothing about the exception log here. So, and here I want to change to Prometheus. I want to see some activity, right? Activity matrix, purchase, activity server request purchase. I run it. Okay, that's good. Now we have some metric. So here's some trace. So here. Okay, I think I'll end this video here. Hope you can learn something here. So much thank you for watching this video and the series. See you in the next video.